The Sandal Rebellion. The first revolt can be regarded as the peasant revolt was the Sandal Rebellion in 1855-56. The land near the hills of Rajmahal in Bihar was cultivated by the Sandals. The Rajmahal hills in Bihar was cultivated by the Sandals. The landlords and the moneylenders from the cities took advantage of their ignorance and began grabbing their lands. This created bitter resentment among them, leading to their armed uprising in 1855. Consequently, under the belief of a divine order, around 10,000 Santals gathered under two Santal brothers, Sidhu and Kanhu, to free their country to the foreign oppressors and set up a government of their own. The rebellion assumed a formidable shape within a month. The houses of the European planters, British officers, railway engineers, zamindars and moneylenders were attacked. The rebellion continued till February 1856, when the river raiders were captured and the movement was put down with a heavy hand. The government declared the Paraganas inhabited by them as Sandal Paraganas so that their lands and identity could be safeguarded from external encroachments. Indigo revolt. The indigo cultivators, Bengal indigo cultivators strike was the most militant and widespread peasant uprisings. The European indigo planters compelled the tenant farmers to grow indigo at terms of highly disadvantageous to the farmers. The tenant farmer was forced to sell it cheap to the planter and accepted advances from the planter that benefited the latter. That is, uh, that is uh, the seller. Sorry, the buyer. There were also cases of kidnapping, looting, flogging, burning, led by Digambar Biswas and Bishnu Charan Biswas. The riots of Nadia district gave up indigo cultivation in September 1859. Factories were burned down. Government took control of the situation to set up an indigo commission in 1860, whose recommendation formed part of the Act 6 of 1862. The indigo planters of Bengal, however, moved on to settle in Bengal and Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. The newspaper Hindu Patriot brought to light the misery of the cultivators several times. Deenbandhu Mitra wrote a drama Neel Darpan in Bengali with a view to draw the attention of the people and the government towards the misery of the indigo cultivators. Pabna revolt. Pabna peasant uprising was a resistance movement by the peasants against the oppression of the Jamindars. It originated in the Yusuf Shahi Paragana of Pabna in Bengal. It was led by Keshav Chandra Roy. The Zamindars routinely collected money from the peasants by the illegal means of forced levy, abwabs, enhanced rent, and so on. Peasants were often evicted from land on the pretext of non-payment of rent. Large crowds of peasants gathered and marched through villages, frightening the zamindars and appealing to other peasants to join with them. Funds were raised from the riots to meet the cause. The struggle gradually spread to other through the Pabna and then to other districts at East Bengal. Everywhere agrarian leagues were organized. The main form of struggle was that of legal resistance. There was very little violence. It occurred only when the zamindars tried to compel the riots to submit their terms by force. Few attacks on police stations took place and the peasants also resisted attempts to execute court decrees. Hardly zamindars or zamindar agents were killed or seriously injured. In the course of the movement, the riots developed a strong awareness of laws. Kapna originated in the Yusufzai Paragana of Pangna, Bengal, and led by Keshav Chandra Roy. The Deccan riots in 1875 it originated in the district of Pune. Event is called as the Deccan riots. The peasants revolted primarily against the oppression of local money lenders who were grabbing their land systematically. The uprising started from a village in Pune district when the village people forced out a local money lender from the village and captured his property. Gradually, the uprising spread over 33 villages, and the peasants looted the property of Marwari Shahukars. Uprising turned into violence when the Sahovkars took help of the police. It was suppressed only when the army was called to control it. However, it resulted in the passing of the Relief Act. Relief Act, which removed some of the most serious grievances of the peasants. The Punjab peasant revolt. The peasants of Punjab agitated to prevent the rapid alienation of their lands to the urban moneylenders to pay debts. The British India did not want any revolt in their province and provided a large number of soldiers to the British Army in India. In order to protect the peasants of the Punjab Land Alienation Act was passed in 1900 as an experimental measure to be extended to the rest of India if it works successfully in Punjab. The act provided population of Punjab into three categories: the agriculture catches, the statutory agriculturist class, and the rest of the population, including the moneylenders. Restrictions were imposed on the sale and mortgage of land from the first of the other two categories. Champaran Satyagraha. The European planters in Champaran in Bihar resorted to illegal and inhuman methods of indigo cultivation at a cost which was wholly unjust. Under the Tinkatiya system in Champaran, the peasants were bound by law to grow indigo into 323 of 3 for 20 of their land and send the same to the British planters at prices fixed by them. They were liable to unlawful extortion and obsession by the planters. Mahatma Gandhi took up their cause. The government appointed an inquiry commission of which Mahatma Gandhi was a member. The grievances of the peasants were inquired and ultimately the Champaran Agrarian Act was passed in May 1980. Keda Satrigarga. In Keza district of Gujarat, due to constant famines, agriculture failed in 1989. But the but officers insisted on collection of full land revenue. The local peasants therefore started a no tax movement in Keda district in 1918. Gandhiji accepted the leadership of this movement. Gandhiji organized the peasants to offer satyagraha and opposed to official insistence on full collection of oppressive land revenue despite the conditions of famine. He inspired the peasants to be fearless and face all consequences. The response to his call was unprecedented, and the government had to bow to a settlement with the peasants. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel emerged as an important leader of the Indian freedom struggle during this period. Mopla rebellion was in 1921, where the Mopla peasants of Malabar was suppressed and exploited by the Hindu Zamindars and the British government. This was the main cause of this alone. The Mopla peasants got momentum from the Malabar District Conference held in April 1920. This conference supported the tenants' cause and demanded legislation for regulating landlord-tenant relations. In August 1921, the Mopla tenants rebelled against the oppressive Jamindars. In the initial phase of the rebellion, the Mopla peasants attacked the police stations, public offices, communications, and houses of oppressive landlords and moneylenders. By December 1921, the government ruthlessly suppressed the Mopla rebellion. According to an official estimate, as a result of government intervention, 2,337 Mopla rebels were killed, 1650 wounded, and more than 25,000 captured as prisoners. Bardoli Satyagraha. In 1928, the peasants of Bardoli, Gujarat started their agitation under the leadership of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel in protest against the government proposal to increase land revenue by 30%. The peasants refused to pay tax at the enhanced rate and started no tax campaign from 12th February 1928. Many women also participated in this campaign. In 1930, the peasants of Bardoli rose to a man refused to Faced taxes, faced the auction sales, and eventual loss. Almost all of their lands were refused to submit to the government. However, all their lands were returned to them when the Congress came to power in 1937. The Indigo revolt was led by Digambar Biswas and Bishnu Biswas. The Bardoliya Satyagraha was led by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel.